I'll tell you a little bit about playing basketball, and I wish Mr. Mahaffey was here tonight, because I think he definitely was the guy that taught me how to play. Because when I come to Buena Vista, I couldn't even do a layup. And I remember Ronnie Austin, he used to have a basketball goal on his garage out back in the alley of his house. And I was in the 7th grade, and that's when I first started shooting basketball. Until I moved to Buena Vista, I never picked up a basketball. And I remember I used to go down and shoot with Ronnie. And basically I couldn't do a layup. And also I didn't have any shoes. I told Joe Wheeler tonight when I was talking about it, because somebody asked me about how many points I scored in the first game, or when did I play my first game of basketball. And I told him I don't know, but I remember playing when I was in the 7th grade and I didn't have any shoes. And people sometimes, I've heard people ask me, well, why would you say that? In some ways that's embarrassing. No, it's not. It wasn't embarrassing, because like I had to, like we had to work to get shoes, and at times, like my dad didn't have enough money to buy me shoes, and it was up to us to work to get them. But I also remember that when I finally learned how to make a layup, and I remember that I had a two-handed jump shot, and then I think Mr. Mahaffey came a following year after that, and he's a guy that used to work with me. And he's the guy that taught me how to shoot a layup with my left hand. Actually go off my right foot, shoot a layup with my left hand, use both of my hands. And I sat on a bench when I played JV basketball. I sat on a bench, and I was a 6th man on our team. We had a real good team that year, and I didn't get to play much, but I was a 6th man. And then my following year as a freshman, I remember I made the varsity and I got to start. And from that time on, I felt like that from my basketball career, like it took off, and I love basketball just as much as I ever loved baseball. And but at the same time, I always loved to hit, and baseball was kind of my first love. But anyway, basketball to me was a game that I learned how to be a team player, and also when I hear people talk about it, I think by playing football in high school definitely improved my game of basketball. It made me tougher, it made me stronger, and I think getting back to my coaches again. But I think Eugene Mahaffey definitely taught me the game of basketball, and he taught me how to play. And like we used to work, I used to work real hard. Did I like to shoot? You better believe it. You can't score unless you shoot. And I would hear sometimes, I see Herm sitting there smiling. I remember Whitey Stennis. Is Whitey Stennis here tonight? I remember Whitey Stennis one day told me, he got mad at me, and he said, "You won't score if I don't throw you the ball." I said, "You won't get the dribble if I don't give you the ball." I said, and he said, "What do you mean with that?" I said, "I'll get the ball, I'll dribble it all the way the length of the floor, and I'll shoot it, and if I miss it, I'll go back and get it again, and I'll keep on shooting. So you better, instead of getting mad at me, you better stay on my side." And really, I don't mean that being cocky, but that's kind of the way I looked at things. But Eugene Mahaffey taught me how to play basketball. I loved every minute of it. And like I've heard people say I could have had a career in basketball. We'll never know, because I went with baseball. But I used to play with a lot of baseball players like Jim Cott, Rich Reese, the guy Dave Golt, some guys. I played in the league in Minnesota, and believe me, those guys could play just as good as I could, and some of them might have been better. So I don't know how good a basketball player I could be. But it's always nice to come back to Buena Vista. It's always sit and argue with somebody when they start telling who's the best player. And I'm not going to ever let somebody say they're better than me. So that would never happen. But when I look and I see my jersey tonight, and believe me, I think of it just like I think of those signs. When my sign, I got to thank you for putting up my sign. I think that's one of the, like counting the World, not counting, I'll take this over the World Series. That sign might mean to me more than winning the World Series. And I thought I would never say that, because definitely, like I was not looking for attention or someone to get to know me. But when I went up there today and I looked at the sign that they had putting out there, I thought it was tremendously, it was something that I could not believe. And it shows that, like if people, they respect me and that they care about me, and like people do think about you at times, and believe me, it means a whole lot to me, and so does this right here, and I love everything about it. And I want to thank you for just having me here tonight, And who knows? Phillies might win again next year.
We're going to turn it back over to Larry and let these gentlemen finish this thing for you. Thank you all.